nosy neighbors who are looking to get values because they may be selling first. Which are you? You identify them right away. So this way, Ben comes in and he says, oh, we're in the market looking. Well, I know he's a buyer, and I know I'm going to focus my conversations on buying. Robert says he's a nosy neighbor. Well, I know he might be interested in selling, so most nosy neighbors want to know about home values. So I'm going to talk home values and stability in the market with Robert. So this agent would just ask him point blank. People come to my open houses for one of two reasons. They're either looking to buy real estate in the near future, or nosy neighbors looking at values because they're going to be selling their home eventually. Which are you? Wow, that's kind of cool.
Could you repeat the line that you usually use?
Which
one more time?
The one up front that says, this is not my listing. Yeah, so this is not my listing. So whether you love or hate it, you're not going to hurt my feelings. They stop, they giggle, they joke. And then I say, I'm just here today to meet people that may need my real estate services. So I'm introducing myself as a real estate agent that's out soliciting for business. Wow, exposing myself and soliciting. Two unique combinations. Do I?
Do you call them nosy neighbors?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Right directly at them. Oh, you're a nosy neighbor? Great, I love nosy neighbors. Can you tell me if anybody died in the house? And that's pretty much the reaction you get, and once again, disarming them, making them feel comfortable and relaxed. And they're like, oh, I want to see how they decorated her. We knew Lisa when she moved out, and all kinds of different things. And you'll even get people that identify themselves as nosy neighbors. Oh, we're a nosy neighbor. Great, I love nosy neighbors. Yeah. So the next statement I would say is, here is a flyer, or here's some information the homeowner or the listing agent put together. So here's some information the listing agent put together. And I'm holding the flyer towards myself. Because Judy wants this information, but my elbow's bent and it's still towards me. So I'm holding it. So the traditional 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 2,600 square feet, built in 1998, and asking price is $390,000. And if the people are familiar with the community, and if they know this house is overpriced, they will scoff at the price. $390, and you know what I'll do? I'll turn shoulder to shoulder with them and go, $390, you know, that's what I thought when I saw the price too. I'm going to beat up the price. Because that's what the consumer, my future client, is beating up. I don't want to bond with them. I've already told them it's not my listing, so I don't care. They're like, wow, that's overpriced. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. You know, house has been on the market 172 days because of the price. You know, so we beat up the price a little bit. So then I'll hand the flyer to Judy and let her go cruising around. And then I'll ask her, would you like the guided tour or self-guided tour? So Ben, would you like the guided tour or self-guided?
Probably guided.
Guided? Okay. Do you want to start inside or outside?
Is that your question?
Yeah.
Probably outside.
Outside? Okay, so let's go take a look outside. So I'm going to get direction from the client and say, where do we want to go? What do we want to look at? What's most important to you?
And if it says self-guided,
Yep, just turn them loose.
just turn on.
Yep, and then I'll let them know, hey, I'm going to follow behind in case you have any questions. And what I'm looking for as they're walking around is, what do they see? What do they stop and take a look at? Whether positive or negatively. You walk into the room and it's painted purple Barney. I'm like, whoa, I'm like, yeah, they wore sunglasses in here the first time. Once again, I'm bonding with them. Could be the carpet, could be anything from there. Or there might be a really nice feature. I did a house once that had hand-carved stone, 3-sided fireplace, and that was great for conversations. Man, can you imagine the labor involved, or where the stone came from, or how long it took, or this, and we're all talking and chatting and getting to know each other real good. So if they're doing the guided tour, turn them loose, follow behind in case they have any questions, and then start having casual conversations with them.
Jim, can we go back for a second where you said you've got the flyer close to you? At what point do you hand it to them, and what do you say when you finally relinquish?
Just kind of hold it through, read through 4 or 5, whatever points they are, and then I'm going to hand it to you.
Okay.
And would you like the guided tour or self-guided?
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
Wanted to flow there.
Yep. And now we're off looking at the house. Remember, they're looking for a home to buy. So I would let them run wild for a little bit. To me, it was kind of like fishing. You know, you let them fish. The hook is in them, but You let them run for a while and you reel them in. You let them run and you reel them in again. And eventually I'm going to land them. I'm going to get them in the boat. They're going to be my client. They're going to love me and send referrals to me for life. So it's good. But let them look at the house first. Let them run through there. I would be asking qualifying questions after a couple minutes as well. And one of the best questions I'd always ask is, other than open houses, how are you searching for homes? So other than open houses, how are you searching for homes? What I'm really asking there is, are you working with a real estate agent?
Did you ask him?
No, not yet. You know, other than open houses, how are you looking for homes? And then one question I would ask probably a dozen times, how is that going? Open-ended, sweet and simple. How is that going? Oh, we've been looking online. How is that going? Oh, we've been going to open houses. How's that going? Oh, my mom's been looking for us. How's that going? Oh, we're working with a real estate agent. How's that going? Because they're either going to say positive or negative. You know, Lisa, you've been looking at houses through open houses. How's that going? Great, love it, wonderful, neat. Isn't it a fun way to get out and see different homes? You get to see the inside. Much better than just looking at pictures. So I'm going to come back with a positive affirmation to why she likes it. Or convince it, or the other way, you know, hey, open houses, how's that going? Oh my God, there's a lot of crap out there. Yeah, there is, isn't there? But look at this nice house I'm at. Because I'm a good agent. I'm not a crappy real estate agent. I didn't take that REO short sale house to sit at today. So always ask, how's that going? I'm looking for an opportunity to provide value. I'm looking for an opportunity to provide a solution to their problem. Robert, working with a real estate agent, how's that going? My question to him. If he responds positively, good, glad you're having a great experience, and nice to hear that. Unfortunately, we hear a lot of negative about us real estate agents, so I always like hearing something positive. Or if he comes back and says, well, good, well, what challenges are you having? Well, she never gets back to me. Now I'm going to sympathize with him. This is a very good one. I hear that more than I'd like to, and on behalf of the 13,000 real estate agents in Las Vegas, I apologize. What I do for all of my clients is I follow up with them every 3 days. Even if there's no new homes on the market that meet there, I follow up with all my clients for 3 days. So I acknowledge his displeasure. I said, here's what I do for my clients. You're not my client right now, but here's what I do for my client. My clients, my group, my team, my club. It's exclusive. You're not in it yet. But here's what I do for my people. Because I want him to say, wow, if I heard from Jim every 3 days, that would be great. Jim, how do I get in the club? That's what I would start thinking in his mind. Other complaints you'll hear a lot about other agents is they're not showing me what I want. I'm sorry, I hear that all the time as well, and on behalf of 13,000 real estate agents, I'd like to apologize. What I do for all of my clients is I ask 200 questions up front, what you're looking for in a house. Because my clients have found if I spend the time up front finding what they want, when I do the search, you're only going to get maybe 5 homes a month. But these are homes that you want. So all my clients like the fact that I spend a lot of time up front to find the right homes for them. You're still not in my club though. So kind of make it exclusive. Lack of communication, not showing houses, and not professional is probably the 3 biggest things, complaints you'll hear about agents from other people. But don't be afraid to ask. If they say, I'm working with an agent, how's that going? Find the positives, find the negatives, find out what you can help with. If it's somebody you want to work with, if it's somebody that's going to be buying in the near future, and if it's somebody that said they're working with an agent, I would ask the following question to them. Have you signed any paperwork with that agent? And no matter what they say, I go with. So if they say no, good enough. Fair game. There's no buyer-broker agreement in place. They've expressed dissatisfaction with the agent they're working with, and they're going to work with me. Because I'm good, I'm fast, I'm quick, I'm professional, I'm on top of things, and they're gonna love me. And give referrals to make the price of their life. It's got a little way to work with them in there. So find out how long they've been looking for houses, if they're working with other than open houses, how they're searching for them. One question, since it's not my listing, I used to ask, what would you change about this house? What would you change about this house? And no matter what they said, I would say you're the third person today that said that. Because we're all bonding again. We're buddies. We went nodding head and, hey, Jim, you understand to me. I like this. You're listening to me. Because in all reality, you have about 6 minutes to pull all this off. Then I kind of ask them what their biggest challenges are while they're searching for homes. Well, what's been your biggest challenge so far, Robert?
Not big enough backyard.
Not big enough backyard? Yeah. Have you seen something that you like with big backyards?
A few.
Okay. And in the backyard, are you looking for something with a pool or more play areas or barbecue areas or what?
No pool.
No pool.
Yep.
Okay.
More areas for animals.
Okay. Animals and just socializing and
Dogs.
through there. Okay. Nice. What type of dogs do you have? And blah, 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 and all this fun, happy stuff.
Uh-huh.
Because in my mind now, I'm going to play that back to them later about the large houses. And hey, there's another listing, I don't know if you've seen it, has a large backyard as well. And, because I have my laptop set up, I have the MLS there, and I have things. I'm trying to get him to the point where we're going to sit down and have a conversation and work through there. So as I'm reeling them in, if they're home buyers, I'm going to find out what challenges they're having, if they're working with an agent, if they're nosy neighbors. Hey, if you're like most nosy neighbors, you're always interested in what's going on with values in the community. I have a great system that once a month sends a detailed list and interactive program out to all of my clients that shows what's going on in the market. Once again, I have this program that I send to my people. My group, my club gets this. Lisa, you're not in the group yet. Not in the group yet. So nosy neighbors want to know what values, want to know what's going on. What's kind of neat is I said, you're not even going to hear from me. This just comes automated. And you can change the search parameters. You can change how often you receive it. And you can change what you want to see and what you don't. Plus, you get to click on all the little pictures on the map and see the details of the house. It'll give a good idea of how your house compares to others and what they're asking for. And also give an update to you when that house goes under a sales contract and when it closes. That was a cool system. So that was part of Top Producer, Market Snapshot. You ever heard of it? Or? Yeah. So Top Producer is another program out there, and they had a system called Market Snapshot. And not only would it send all that information, but every time a new listing came on the market that met what the client set up, it would come from me. So, hey, Lisa, here's a new listing that came on 3 streets away from you, same model.
Does Matrix have anything like that?
Mm-mm.
I'm not using Top Producer. It was too difficult way back when. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, Top Producer's always been one of the leading ones in the industry, but they keep adding on, and it's getting a little unstable, a little bit crazy, but if you take a look at specifically what you want, for myself as an agent, it worked out real good. I used all of the KW stuff in there. I just took it all from KW and moved it right into Top Producer, because they have all the programs already. But Market Snapshot is what I was after, because that was a cool little program. I think everything together costs maybe $85 a month.
Well, I just signed up for Exact Contact,
Okay.
and it's 6 weeks for free, so I've got to get in there and start messing around with
And
it and
see
seeing if it's worth it.
what works.
I think it's like $40, $45 a month. something like that.
Yeah. And as business people, we all determine what we want to spend, what we want to do.
Yeah.
But when I saw Market Snapshot as a consumer, I went, wow, that's cool, I want it.
I gotta get
And I said, wait, I'm going to give it to all my clients now. So I went out, it was pretty neat. So I'm reeling them in, and I'm trying to provide something of value. It might be the challenge you're having with current agents. It may be you're the nosy neighbor that's probably going to be selling in 3 years, but really don't want to talk to an agent, but want to know what values are. Could be a wide variety of things. So I'm providing value, providing value, providing value. And remember, when I did my open houses, I did them kind of unique. So throughout this whole process of walking through the clients, meeting them at the front door, doing that, is there anything I didn't do yet?
ask them to sign anything or?
You are correct. Never asking for their information. Which is kind of different.
That kind of diffuses the fear, do you think?
And there's mixed thoughts about doing this. From a safety point of view, we need to know who's at every open house. We need to know who's visiting. One of the other nice things about doing a vacant home is if somebody's coming to burglarize the place and they walk into a vacant home, wow, this isn't going to work out too well. So they just kind of clear from there. We hear a lot of bad things in the paper, and you read them in the news from time to time of happening to real estate agents. So keep your eyes wide open, be as safe as you can. It may get to the point very similar to how travel has evolved over the years, where before we let somebody into the open house, I need to take an imprint of your driver's license. Just from the health and safety point of view. But we're not there now, so you can kind of determine what you want to do. As a consumer, whenever I went to open houses and the real estate agent said, "Hi, I don't know you, but I need all your personal information. Sign, sign, sign." Okay. My middle school science teacher was Mr. Crapsey. The pizzeria phone number is this, and time and temperature email is this. So I just put any information down and shut them up. What I found by doing the way I did is I never asked them for their information. I always wanted them to come to me. Can I provide that? So on one of the tables, I had a clipboard set up, and through our conversations, I had something on the clipboard. It was actually this form that said, "Hey Jim, can you provide the following information to me? Free online home search system, professional home search through the MLS, competitive market analysis, accurate data on the current local real estate market, or contact information of professional mortgage originators." Because a lot of people would also ask me, "Do you know any good loan officers?" And I went to my bank, I talked to them, and that person was brain dead. "Do you know any good ones?" "Yeah." So I would let them know that as well. And then from here, they would fill out their contact information. The information that was provided on these forms, 100% of it was accurate. I never got an incorrect name, number, or email. Because by the time this came out, they already liked me, they saw the value, and they wanted to provide. About 20% of the people would actually fill these out though. I'm okay with that.
No, that's not a bad ratio.
I'd rather talk to the 20% that were real and wanted to work with me. Sometimes with the nosy neighbors, I'd have the clipboard and I'd pick up and say, "Hey, yeah, you're interested in that, knowing what's going on in the market. What's the best email to send that to?"
Because they already told you they were interested.
Yeah. I never asked, "Can I have your email?" Or is it okay to? I just went with the assumptive close. "Lisa, what's the best email to send that to?" You notice I'm not looking at you anymore. Yeah. "What's the best email to send that to?" Okay, fill that out through there. Go through. It was amazing how many times through my conversation with people, they would see the clipboard, they'd see the information, and they'd pick it up and start filling it out. And I almost want to go, "Hey, wait, we're not there yet. Okay? You're getting ahead of yourself. I'm not sure I want you to be in the club." And then when people would fill all this out, I'd actually take this sheet then and just make it disappear. I didn't want it sitting there. From title companies, you get the books at open houses to sign in, and you put your name, phone number, email, home address, and it's one of 10 spaces. I would never do that as a consumer. Fill that out accurately, because whoever comes in behind me, "Hey, cell phone, click." So once again, it would be, "My name is Mickey Mouse." Do the things from there.
I have a question.
Yes.
So the nosy neighbors are coming in to
Mhm.
find the value of the property. So if you didn't walk and you were getting to door knock, but if you did, would you have the price of the listing? You
No,
would? Okay.
It would be readily available. It would be on the same flyer I'm handing out at the open house. I mean, in today's age, everybody can get that information real quick. You go back 30 years ago as real estate agents, we had a lot of information that we kept close to us, and if you want that information, you come and talk and chat.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, it's just bang, it's out there. So, in my personal opinion, the days of saying, "Well, if you want to know what the price is, come down to the office, let's meet for an hour," those are long gone. Yeah. So I get them to fill out the sheet, provide the information. I'd make notes on the bottom, how to follow up, what to do. I'd have the MLS open on the laptop so they could come through, we could look at other homes. Probably a dozen times at least, I sat down with clients and we looked at something else, and we found it 2 streets over, and it was vacant. I'm gonna go look at it now. So I put a sign in the front door. You know, went to check signs, be back at, and then fill in whatever time it was. So I'd close up one open house, go show another house, go. I close open houses up early sometimes. You get that hot and heavy person that's in from out of town, we gotta buy something this weekend. We have 2 agents that are sending stuff to us, but they're clueless. Jim, we like you, are you available now? Let's see, it's $400,000 cash purchase, open house closed. See ya. Put a sign in the front door, sorry, missed you, be back tomorrow. Or something casual from there. You know, the conversations to have with people, do not show the house, do not sell the house. It has nothing to do with the open house that you're at. It's all about you meeting and greeting and talking to them and seeing if you can help them with their real estate needs. Too many agents, in my opinion, get nervous, get excited, and all of a sudden it's time to start selling the house. And people generally know within a minute of being in the house if they have any interest in it or not. And I used to love the people that were direct like me, right to the point. They'd walk in, they'd look around, they knew the speech, like, yeah, this house sucks. What else do you have, Jim? Okay, good. We never even made it outside. We never even went in 2 rooms sometimes. Yeah, come on over. What else are you looking for? You got this, you got that. Okay, good. 15 minutes later, I got them on the email campaign. I know exactly what they're looking for. I know what the follow-up is, and I know what to expect from them. I didn't need to take time showing them the 3rd bedroom upstairs. The house just wasn't going to work for them. Okay. So I would never force that part of it out. One of the things that I would do when people would walk in, I mentioned before that I had 2 tables, and I used to love to dazzle people with data. I would project a certain image to them without even talking to them in a whole lot of detail. If they wanted the self-guided tour, I'd turn them loose and wander, but the house is vacant, so there's no furniture, there's no artwork, there's nothing in there, and every now and then they keep looking over at something. They're looking around, and, that's intriguing. Well, Jim brought that, so we should talk with him a little bit more. I mean, he's a little wacky, he's a little crazy, but it does look like he knows what he's doing. And we do need to buy a house. So let's circle back and see what he's talking about. So I went back to when I was like, I don't know, middle school, elementary school, or somewhere from there. We used to do the arts and crafts projects. I used to do all that fun little stuff, and it would be like presentation time, and you'd make all fun things. So I actually put a presentation board together. That would get people's attention.
I'm so glad you brought that.
The what?
I'm so glad that you had that. I didn't see it at first. 'Cause I just got mine.
So what I would do with this, it has 3 different panels. The first one is real estate services available. I'm selling me. This is what I can do to help you out. This is different information I can do. This one was what's currently going on in the market valley-wide. And then the last section was today's open house. This is the nosy neighbor board. They want to see what's going on. We talked earlier about doing the CMA, having it up and ready and everything there, so you can see what things have sold, what houses, where. You can see what's going on in that zip code as far as sales that are there. A lot of this information came from title companies, and each of the title companies have different forms and different data that they provide. So keep working with different title reps, find out what works best for you, and get into a rhythm. These came from Ticor. This came from Fidelity. This came from Rick Brinkus. And so I would just get into a rhythm.
So you would ask the title company for information on that property?
They gladly send it out. Actually, this is more community-wide.
Okay.
So the only thing that I did in the property itself was the CMA. But this stuff was based on the zip code. So most of my marketing was all 89014 zip code. So they would send this over, and you could search by zip and do it whichever way you wanted. So I just put in 89014. I like these 3 little reports. This one was kind of neat because you'd always get that person coming in going, well, I'm looking for a great deal. I want to buy an REO. Okay, well, REOs are attractive because generally you can pick them up for less, but there's a lot of people looking for those. And right now, REOs only make up 6% of the market. Notice I'm pointing to something? I didn't tell them. I just said, it's 6%. That's what that graph says. Wasn't there a lot more coming on the market? And people always used to ask that. Isn't it, well, and then I'd ask them, are you familiar with a notice of default is? Do you know what a notice of trustee sale is? Do you know what a trustee deed actually is? So taking a look at it, last month in this Vegas-wide, there was only 497 notice of defaults, but 6 months ago, there was 903. And notice of default is the first step in the foreclosure process, so that's been cut in about half. So based on the data, it looks like there's going to be even less in the future. So I would learn these numbers, or at least what the charts were and where to point. And so we could engage people in conversation about specific items.
How do you have those attached up there? Is it Velcro?
Yeah. So I just do sheet protectors because these I change out. And when I put this all together, my fiance said it looked too businessy. So we went to little cute little stuff. So those are actually laminate, but they do have the little on the background.
Do you mind if I take a picture of it?
Yeah, go ahead. And so this is how I would present. I am a full-time professional real estate agent that knows what's going on in the market. Lisa, you as a consumer just came from 3 other open houses. How am I doing?
Yep.
And then I had the clipboard sitting right here. That's where the people would fill out, the other information. People would always ask, nosy neighbors, well, is the market going up or down? Well, here's what we've done over the last 6 months with the median price in Vegas. Here's the units sold, where they're at. Here's a 5-year trend.
Where are you pulling that? You said it was from Rick, but.
Yeah, Rick sends an email out to everybody with that.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, actually it comes from Darren. Rick sends it to Darren, Darren forwards it out to.
I don't get emails from Darren.
No,
I don't know.
go ask him. Tell him I want some information. Say, dang it, you're holding out on me and I want this information. This one came from Fidelity National Title. These come from Ticor. And they send a lot of different stuff to you. And then the one, this is mortgage interest rates, because people love to talk about mortgages as well. So I have something that can reference where rates are at. Yeah, bottom up. People would say, well, do you think interest rates are going up? Well, they're either going up or down. Follow LIBOR, they follow the 10-year treasury, they follow what the overall market's doing. The latest jobs report said this, but the market reacted negatively, went down. Usually the 10-year treasury follows the same thing as the mortgages do, so when do you want me to help you buy a house? And does it really matter where rates are at as far as what you're looking for in a home? So I would dazzle them with data. And a lot of times if you get 2 or 3 parties through, you can only talk to one at a time politely. You can introduce yourself and talk to others, but I've had people that have hung out at this table before waiting till I was available. So then I made a decision. If people are looking at the data and hanging out there, those are the ones I want to go talk to. So Mr. and Mrs., whatever your names were, talking about whatever you wanted, I'm not interested anymore. I'm going to go talk to the person hanging by the data because they most likely want to buy. I'd still be polite to the others, but it would be, hey, I'm going to be right back. So you can do stuff there. So as a consumer, if you saw an agent that had something like this out, what would you think?
I think they knew what they were doing.
Ben, what would you think?
Same thing.
No. And I've had other agents from other companies that came through with their clients because they were just looking at other houses. The one girl's like, this is good. I looked back at her, I smiled and said, do you have a buyer broker agreement signed with your client? She said, what?
Oops.
Is he kidding or not kidding? Because you're in the living room, you and I can go play tug of war and you're not going to win this battle. So it was kind of neat. And it was fun because it also helped me stay what was going on in the market.
I swear, with all the open houses that I've gone through since I got back, I have never seen this.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it's the agent back in the kitchen
Mm-hmm.
with the flyers that, they don't greet you and, yeah.
And with those type of agents, because I go out and visit open houses every now and then, if I come across one of those, I love the houses where the kitchen you can get to from 2 different ways. And the agent's sitting back in the kitchen,
Yeah.
and I'll step to the right, hello, and then I'll go to the left. And then by the time, we do circles and things. I'm like, this is just, we're playing hide and go seek. I should hide in a broom closet so they can find me. Oh, my fiance Brenda, sometimes she'll just like, oh, stop. Why? This is easy, that's why. So you work from there. Questions on open houses? Anything you can think of, anything specifics you may have in mind?
I just got my board. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet.
No.
I haven't had time, I haven't even probably been home, but that's why I want to take some closer pictures, so
And we create it what works best for yourself.
Yeah.
I just kind of gravitated towards selling myself. Here's what's going on in Las Vegas. Here's what's going on in the community. And then a lot of times I had loan officers sit in with me, so we'd put some of their information down in here. And the fact that it's Velcro is neat, 'cause you just flip things around. When I first started, I put everything in with push pins, and then I went to fold it up and went, ooh, it doesn't work so well.
Do you, it used to be, and again, this is in the dinosaur days, but we used to have agents always print out a sheet on it with the different, methods of financing it. Anything like that still?
I mean, it can be done. You can show the different numbers and details and goodies through there, but what you really want to come down to is everybody's different. So I have some great mortgage resources. They'd be glad to talk to you. I can go over some things with you as well. Because this piece of paper may or may not apply to you, and I'm going to get you excited about what might not be reality. So, but it's still good to do as kind of a range. And also the market I was working in, what was nice is most of those individuals were already pre-approved because they knew, hey, get financing in place before you go.
Yeah.
If you're dealing more with first-time home buyers, then that information would probably be a lot more useful. Because then the other thing I always came across is, what rate do you run it at? Well, the loan officer gave it to me on Thursday, and then, ooh, bad things happen Friday, and is this rate still good? Well, we have to wait till Monday.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of ran ranges and goodies. It would take me probably a half hour to get this board all set up for an open house. And I'm going to be honest, occasionally I'd receive an email on Friday for the open house that I was going to sit at that said, hey, we've accepted an offer. No need to do the open house. Yeah. Fortunately for me, though, I didn't open that email until Monday.
Hey, it was vacant.
You are correct.
You didn't inconvenience anybody.
And I walked away with a new client and a half.
Yeah.
Yep. So when I did open houses, I'd do them 6 weekend days a month. I'd do them from 11 to 5, and I'd walk away from every open house with 1.5 new clients. And new clients are people that wanted to work with me, that I wanted to work with them, that we'd go out showing homes.
Did you primarily focus on buyers because of your open house focus?
Yep. And the very first listing I ever had, comical, sitting in an open house. Kids walk in, my kids are 20, 22, hang out. Oh yeah, I mean, grandparents live across the street. Okay, cool, hang in, you look, you're always friendly to everybody. 2 hours later, the parents come back. They're like, yeah, my parents own there. And I'm looking at the parents, I'm like, well, you guys are like 55, 60, but your parents live across the street? Well, the parents live across the street and they own the house right next door. And, well, yeah, we're in town from Illinois. We don't really know any agents, and kids like you seem good. Can you help us sell the house? So, literally standing in the front door of the open house, you look directly across the street, and that was my very first listing. My 3rd month in business. And they're like, hey, can you help us? Sure. Yep, I'd be glad to.